Nos interesa saber un poco de dónde vienes, dónde vives, qué haces, qué te gusta hacer y bueno, y obviamente llegar a lo profesional de qué es lo que haces actualmente.
Well, I'll start at the beginning. I was born in Denver, Colorado. My mother was British and married an American during the war, but then he died before I was born, and so she came over to live with her father-in-law in Denver, Colorado, and I grew up in Denver, was educated there. I started teaching at a school that I had attended for 6 years, and at the age of 20, and it was a secondary school, so some of my students were not much younger than I, and I quickly realized that I didn't really know a whole lot about teaching and also about the world, and it was a time of social and political ferment in the late 60s with the assassination of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy and the big demonstrations against the war. And so my students would ask a lot of questions of me, and I didn't have sufficient answers, so I began to look into some of the realities of the civil rights movement and the Vietnam War, how the U.S. got involved, and through that I became very interested in helping to participate in social movements, and I did that for 20 plus years. It was the anti-war movement, a woman's right to choose, anti-racist demonstrations, organizations, and during that time I was also teaching a little bit, and then I started to teach in Los Angeles at a huge school that had 4,500 students, and most of them were English language speakers. And so I prepared myself to become an ESL teacher and taught in this high school. And again, I came up against a realization that I didn't really know enough to be a good teacher of English language learners. So I got my master's degree, and I thoroughly enjoyed the teaching. We would have students from 10, 15 countries in 2 or 3 different classes speaking many languages, and so we tried to make a connection with the students and have one memory that for me sort of captures the beauty of teaching. And there was a young woman who came to high school in the middle of the year from Mexico. She was very lonely and very shy, and I made an effort to try to integrate her into the class and make her feel at home. And then at the end of the year she came up to me with a coin, and she showed it to me, and then she took the coin and broke it into 2 pieces, and it had been, her grandfather had carved out a very intricate design. And she said to me, my grandfather told me when he gave me this coin to give it to someone who has made a difference in your life. And so it was very touching. But it captured and she said, and then my grandfather said, you will know that there is somebody that has the other half of your coin. And so it, for me, really captured the reason that I enjoyed teaching so much. Enjoyed the relationship that I had with the students. I felt that I could do more to help English language learners if I went and taught teachers. And so this teaching was taking place in Los Angeles, and I moved then to the University of New Mexico, where I got my my doctorate degree. Was hired there, and since 1997 have been teaching as a professor at UNM. And I was fortunate to meet and be a student of Vera John Steiner's, who is internationally one of the best known Vygotskian scholars, and was responsible for helping to make his work available in English. And we had a very good working relationship, and she and I have written a number of articles on Vygotsky's work. And so that's one main area of my research interest. The other is working on second language literacy and helping secondary students acquire literacy as well as oral proficiency. I was lucky to meet Manuel in 2005, and we've had a very, very nice collaborative working relationship ever since then.
Gracias por ese comentario, Holbrook.